But if the retention is not up there,
no, it's not going to stay.
It don't stick, and therefore, as soon as you turn the switch off the user acquisition, it falls like a dead fly. I don't think that's a very good. Yeah, I don't know. That wasn't quite right, was it?
I think you mean it drops like a stone.
Oh, there you go. That's exactly what I said.
On top of a fly, probably.
That's it. Squash.
This is the Rising High Extended Tea Break, the game dev podcast bringing you the best practical, actionable advice for indie game developers. Brought to you by RisingHighAcademy.com. The kettle's on, so let's go listen in.
Well, hey there, and welcome to episode 19 of the Rising High Extended Tea Break. My name is Kevin, and I am joined with Julie today. Hello, Julie.
Hello.
How are we today?
I'm okay. Looking forward to the snackable season.
Indeed. So, yeah, this episode is sponsored by Seriously Snackable, which is our newer course all about hyper-casual games, which are not to be mistaken with casual games. Hyper-casual games have lots of nuances and different aspects to them, and we put a course together, and we're really excited because we're going to hold our first boot camp that we've ever done, which will be a 4-week live training sessions going over all the elements that go into making hyper casual games. So if you're looking to get a deal with Ketchup or Voodoo, we're going to break down, and we have broken down in the course, everything that goes into making games that these publishers want. So if that's your goal, come in and join us. It should be a real blast. Really excited. Looking forward to doing this along with the course that we put together. We've broken everything down, and we're coming on live and talking about all the latest games released by these publishers. So it's going to be really informative. And yeah, it's going to be
fun.
Yeah, it's going to be good fun, this one. We are accepting what do you call it?
Registration.
Registration is open. Thank you, Julie.
It's okay.
Registration is open, so come in and join us. Made it really got some good bonuses we've put in as well, and that by the time this one comes out, the doors will just about be closing. So we're kicking things off on the 13th of June 2018. Where we'll be hosting our first live session. If you can't make it live and all that stuff, we've got recordings up, and it's a one-off thing, and you can hold on to this forever. So anyway, that's Seriously Snackable. So that's a good little project for us this year. Really
see
cool.
What it's all about.
Good feedback so far from our members who have already gone through some of the stuff. So we'll be covering things that haven't even been released yet. So you can't get more up to date than that, than deconstructing future games that haven't hit the store. So it should be a lot of fun, and we'd love to invite you in on that. Okay, so that's all of that gubbins out of the way. What is
gubbins?
Well, we know. People. I don't know. Gubbins. What's wrong with that?
Oh yeah.
No, we're really excited about this course, and if you want to get some insights from us and all that stuff, it's going to be good.
I think there's a little bit of confusion between casual games and hyper casual.
Absolutely,
just a touch of confusion.
Yeah, exactly. There are very different beasts, although there is a lot of crossover as well.
Yeah, there is.
But there are definite things that these big publishers are now looking for, and we cover all the retention metrics they want. We've spoken to the biggest publishers. We know the benchmarks they're looking for, and we've got really good connections with publishers, so we know what they want, and this is our opportunity to share what they want and go through all the stuff that makes games that they want to sign.
Yeah.
So super important stuff. Anywho's. What's on the podcast for today?
Another important point, researching the App Store. And 3 reasons why researching the App Store is a critical habit for mobile game developers.
Yeah, great subject. I like this one. So this is something that we've done ever since we started.
I don't think it's actually something we actually think about anymore. It's just something you do.
It is part of life.
Daily, really.
Absolutely. We're on the App Store all the time. Because that is the playground that we play in.
Especially on a Thursday.
Especially Thursdays, because that's the Apple Refresh Day where they feature all the new games. So going onto the App Store and getting involved in the market and being slightly obsessive about this stuff, I think has been key to the success that we've seen.
Yeah.
Because
for sure.
What happens is if you're in any line of business, you need to geek out at it a fair bit.
You need to keep up to date.
That's right.
And the app, let's face it, the App Store is one of the fastest moving,
it's insane,
trending places.
It's insane, and it's definitely come over in waves. When we first started out, it was keyword jumping and all this reskinning stuff, and then it's moved on to publishers, and now we're seeing the new era of publishers. And why do we know this stuff? Because we make it our business to know. And we can see it because we're in the App Store and we can see which games are doing well because we're constantly looking at the market. So the market trends in the mobile space, and this is not really the meme stuff. This is more to do with what are the big publishers releasing? What are the styles?
Yeah, game types and the art styles.
Yeah, what art is trending right now?
Yeah,
and what types of games are doing well? So back when we were heavily releasing games like once a month, it was very much the sort of rage games.
Yeah, it was the fast games. Yeah,
mad, punitive games.
Well, you died a lot.
That's right, but that was what it was, you know.
But that was what it was wanted at the time. So,
that's it, exactly. It's like, think of like the absolutely difficult games. That was what was on point at that point in time. And things have changed now, which is one of the reasons why we put the course together.
Which is also a good reason why you shouldn't take too long to make a game.
Well, this is it.
Yeah.
This is if for the App Store. Yeah, I mean, if you're going like real proper indie, like Steam and all the rest of it, it's a very different market.
Different ball game, yeah.
It is, yeah. I mean, again, you can do both, but generally speaking, it's a different audience and a different landscape, and of course, it's different marketplaces. So, when we're looking at the market trends, it's really important to start noticing stuff that you can draw inspiration from. It's one of our big sources of inspiration, because we adopt our model of game fusion, where we look at all the popular games out.
Yeah, model and improve.
Yeah, and we fuse ideas together to generate what is a new thing. Now, by being in the App Store all the time, we expose ourselves to many different games. Now, one thing that we covered, I think it was a couple of weeks back on the live sessions, is that I like to look at what I perceive as bad games as well. So not just the ones that are like top of the pops, but other ones that come through. We still use iTunes Desktop, and you can download the original iTunes Desktop, which is 12.6.3. If you Google that, you should find a version where you have to install it, because they removed the App Store from the desktop version of iTunes in the latest updates.
That upset you a lot.
It did. But you can roll it back. You have to be careful. If you use iTunes for your music and films or whatever you use your iTunes for, be aware that this will mess some of that stuff up, and you have to copy libraries and all that stuff. I can't remember. It's one of the big tech blogs. It's either TechCrunch or one of the bigger ones.
TechCrunch sounds familiar.
Yeah, they've got a really good. They got the download link and the instructions and all the pitfalls of doing it. It's no big deal. You just got to back up your library to make sure you don't mash anything up. So we still use that, and I like to go into the categories in iTunes and look at the latest arcade and action sort of subcategories.
Usually around those two. Puzzle as well.
Yeah, the good thing about doing it on iTunes is you can still drill down into categories and see the latest releases. Now, on iOS 11 and what will be soon 12, you can't do that because they've changed the way. So, historically, iTunes Desktop pretty much mirrored the App Store on your devices. But with the change of iOS 11, that completely revamped it. So on the desktop version, we can see what was the old version.
Okay.
And on the devices now with iOS 11 Plus, you see a different thingamabob. So you can't see the new releases of the categories anymore, but you still can on the desktop version. Now, what this does is that you can see what's funneling into the App Store each and every week.
Yeah.
Each and every day, I should say. So we see all the new games that are coming out. And you can see what's hitting the stores. And a lot of the time you can come across games that perhaps are not picked up by publishers, are released by small indies that are really interesting, but because they don't have the marketing power behind them, they can sort of get lost.
Yeah, very easily.
Excuse me. So that's one of the reasons I really like. I want to see what's hitting the store, and we keep looking, and it's like over time, especially when you start looking at a lot of games, you start squirreling some ideas around that you go, well, actually, that one wasn't all that good. The graphics weren't that good, but this one that's doing really well in the charts, and this one, if you merge those together or fuse those together, you've actually got an interesting idea. So it's really powerful that way. I really like doing that. So our philosophy of game fusion comes into it, and we get a lot of that information from the App Store itself. So keeping up with the market trends and seeing what's hitting the site, seeing what's hitting the store is a really good way to immerse yourself into the market and keep you present.
If you're going for a publisher as well, I mean, if you're wanting to go that route, then they're the people to study too.
Of course,
what games they're bringing out.
What are they releasing?
Yeah.
What are they releasing, and why are they releasing it? And you start to understand. Oh, actually,
what they're looking for.
Ketchup always publish this type of game, or Absolute always publish this type, or perhaps they don't publish any one type, or perhaps actually their portfolio's missing this one.
Yeah.
They've got a really good portfolio. They're doing such and such, but they haven't got one of these styles of games. So actually, why don't we make Absolute one of those sort of games?
Yeah.
And all this kind of stuff, and you really sort of immerse yourself.
So once you get to know the publishers as well, I mean, even just going down like a new list, you can kind of second guess. So that looks like a ketchup.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And often we do. Now, we've said this before, that you don't need to spend hours on this.
No, I don't, and I know you don't.
No, we just 10 minutes.
It's something I flick through for about 10 minutes every day.
And what's cool is that someone says, "Oh, do you know about this game? You know about that game?" So yeah, I do actually. I can tell you that the Tasty Pill game that's topping the charts now. As soon as I saw that is practically a clone of another game from BoomBit, and I knew that straight away.
Yeah.
They've done it really well, so kudos to Aaron and Philip. Congrats, guys, you're crushing it. It's a great game as well. But it's not an original game. It's cloned from a BoomBit game.
Well, I don't think there are many original games.
No, of course. And I'm not getting salty about it or trying to pick a fight. That's not my point. But the point is, I know that because we go into the store all the time.
Yeah. And
we know the market. We had a really good thing on the last workshop about going back to from older games as well.
Yeah.
Which kind of does tie into this a little bit, because by doing this, you can think, well, hold on, that was a hit of yesteryear, right? And maybe we can breathe some life into that and give it a nice lickety-split 2018 makeover.
Yeah, it also goes on, there's really, really old games that people have kind of revamped, brought up to date.
That's right.
Old games like Pong and Tanks and...
Sure, I mean, look what Voodoo did with June.
Yeah.
That's Tiny Wings.
Yeah. Brought up to date.
New graphics, same gameplay, few twists, which is really important. But yeah, so getting involved in this stuff is a really good habit. Do we have a list today?
Well, you're kind of gone through number one, which is keeping up with the market trends.
Uh-huh.
I've only got a 3, so number 2 is Success Leaves Breadcrumbs.
Ah, yes. Success.
Sticky games.
Yeah. So you get to know what games have stuck around.
Yeah.
So you're in the.
That's the only way to know.
In the App Store every day, 10 minutes. So keep seeing that one. Keep seeing that one. That one's still there. It's like, what are they doing?
Not just that, but you can actually see how fast new games go up.
Yeah, so the free, we're talking, let's clarify this, we're talking about the free game charts.
Yeah.
Sometimes categories as well. Well, but it's all of it. But normally the top 100, top 200 free game charts, really volatile charts.
I don't think I ever go into paid.
I never go into paid.
No.
But you don't need to.
No.
Paid never moves unless there's a featured game with a price tag, or you got like the new Final Fantasy or one of these bigger premium games, like a Monument or whatever. That doesn't move around. Whereas the free charts is up and down like yo-yos.
Yeah.
So the idea that success leaves breadcrumbs is the fact that you say, right, that one's still there. That one's still there. Now, especially if you don't recognise the developer, then it's like, hold on a minute, what is going on with this one? What are they doing? Why is it so successful? Now, it could be that they're running acquisition on the likes of, I don't know, Musical.ly or Snapchat, and you can't like reverse engineer the traffic, but it could be that we like to look at the reviews, because normally if you read the reviews, you can see where they come from. So it's sort of like, oh, I'm only here to leave my free review. That's right.
3 stars.
That's right. Or I came here from Insta. You know, it's all that kind of stuff. And it's sort of like the success here leaves breadcrumbs back, and you can work out, actually, is it the game, or is it a massive UA campaign, or what is it why is it here?
Or maybe it's just a good game.
Maybe it's just a good game.
And people like it.
And the interesting thing is, if it sticks around, then it points to it being a really high retention game that people like. It's all very well pushing a ton of traffic to a game, but if the retention is not up there,
no, it's not going to stay.
It don't stick, and therefore, as soon as you turn the switch off the user acquisition, it falls like a dead fly. I don't think that's a very good. I don't know. That wasn't quite right, was it?
I think you mean it drops like a stone.
Oh, there you go. That's exactly what I said. You know,
on top of a fly, probably.
That's it. Squash. Anywho, so success leaves breadcrumbs there. See which games stick around, why they stick around, and you get to know the publishers as well, almost by stealth, because you like, oh, hold on a minute, that looks familiar. And then you look in, and then it goes underneath, it's got other games by or related. Yeah. And they go, oh, they did that one. And then you can say, oh, hold on a minute. And then you see the thing, and it just builds up that whole holistic picture of the App Store marketplace and gives you really good ammunition for your games. Especially if you see some stuff like, actually, the black and red's working really well right now.
Colour schemes, yeah.
How about, I was going to go...
Yeah, they go in trends as well, don't they?
Of course. Yeah. And a lot of the time, these publishers set the trends.
Yeah.
And that way, if you're quick and you're nimble, as indies we can be, we can capitalise, not copy, but we can capitalise and be inspired. And maybe we're going to do a red, blue and black. Black, what?
Black, red and white.
That's it, thank you, that's what I said. And what was it?
Black, red and white.
Black, red and white, but now we're going to do a blue, red and white.
Okay.
Or red, white and blue. Anyway, you see my point. If there's something that's going like, let's do 2 colours, because my brain obviously can't handle 3.
Can't
I was going to do a red and black game, but actually it seems that the red and blue ones
are suddenly trending.
That's right. Yeah. Quick switch, bang. You've just given yourself a way better chance.
And also, I mean, you know, if you see new games that have come out that have stuck around, then download it and play it.
Of course, yeah.
You might see a mechanic you've not quite seen matched with that before, or...
Yeah, listen, the bottom line is that the games that end up in the top 100 do not very rarely get there by accident. So number 2 was Success Leaves Breadcrumbs. The top 100 games are not there by fluke, for the most part. There is something behind them, and you can draw knowledge and information by looking at them and keeping up to date with this stuff to work out how they've got there and why, more importantly, why they got there. We have to
kind of reverse it. I mean, if you're making a game and you don't ever make a habit of looking around the App Store, then it's a complete open book when you do.
That's right. You want to be looking at the blueprint of what these successful games do and model loosely and be inspired by them. Coming up with your own idea is usually a poor plan for success if you're looking to do well on the App Store.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's number 3?
We've kind of covered a few bits in number 3, which is Apple Features List.
Yeah, so every Thursday the App Store refreshes. Slightly changed from late, but generally speaking, the new games we love list will refresh every single Thursday. And for us, when we were really heavily releasing games on our studio, we were after the Apple features.
Yeah.
And so we made a point of looking at the featured games every single week, and we were looking to see what the App Store team liked. And that heavily influenced heavily influenced what we built and how it looked.
Yeah.
And by doing this research, for the 13 games we built, we've been featured every single time. So this is why I'm really bullish on this, because that has been our strategy and it's been 100% success rate. So I think there's something to it.
I like Thursdays anyway, because it's just...
I hate Thursdays.
I know you hate Thursdays because of launch days, but I like Thursdays because everything refreshes.
Yeah, there is that. It is
time
good.
To dig in and have a look round.
Yeah, it is a good time. I like calling it. We go on Touch Arcade pretty much every...
which has changed.
Yeah, they've just rebuilt their site. It's going to take a little bit of getting used to. But we look at the Touch Arcade to see what's coming out, and we do a game where we... I don't know if we spoke about this before. Where we do a game where we try and pick the winners, and our success rate is pretty damn high for the best part. Because we know what the Apple team likes. And that gives us a huge advantage over other developers who don't do what we do, but we're sharing our strategy today to try and help everyone out. And it's really worth doing. Now, whether or not you are going to put the time in to do this, that's down to you. But it's worked really well for us. And it really gives you insights, not only on art styles, but mechanics that the App Store team like.
Yeah.
Now personnel might change and trends change, and they may not. It's not guarantees here, but it does not give you a leg up and an extra few bonus points if you can tick some of these boxes.
Touch Arcade is good. I mean, there's all the forums to look on as well.
Touch Arcade is great.
Yeah, I was really cross last week when it changed.
Well, no one likes change.
No, because I went into it and I thought I know exactly what I'm going to do, where I'm going to go.
Yeah.
And it wasn't there, and I thought, well.
Yeah. To be fair, I mean that site has been due a makeover for a long time.
Yeah.
Pocket Gamer, if you're listening, I hope you're following suit. No offence. Anyway,
that gives me a headache. That site.
Yeah, they're a little bit old.
Very, very busy. It's very 80s.
Well, the trouble is, once you get a website that's so big, I mean, I used to be a web developer, a web designer. We had plenty of websites, and when they get so big, the actual
it's a massive job.
Yeah, it's a real pig to do. So
it's better just to start again.
I definitely have sympathy for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're due a makeover. So there you go. Nice and quick and snappy one today, I think.
Did we cover what publishers are consistent in the new Apple features list?
No, but that's a great point. That's a great shout. So yeah, when you're looking at the Apple feature list, you'll see publishers get featured a lot. The same publishers.
I know that's something we always talk about on a Thursday. You always say, well, David's not released for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's right. I keep an eye on what the likes of Nanovation, Umbrella, Absolute, obviously, What Is Up, David, Ketchat, all the big ones.
Yeah.
What are they releasing, and what's their schedules like, and are they getting featured? Because if you see these publishers getting featured all the time, that means that their relationship with the App Store team is pretty damn stellar. And if you're looking for a publisher and you're going, well, hold on a minute, who are these new cool cats? They've been featured 4 times in as many weeks. I was going to try a publisher, but they never got back to me.
Yeah.
Why don't I give X new App Store favourite of the week a go?
Try, yeah.
And lo and behold, a lot of the time as well, if we won't get into it, they don't get as much traffic as the bigger ones.
No, that's right.
Therefore,
so your chances are higher.
Certainly getting seen and not ignored can definitely be greater.
And it's a good way, actually, to see new up-and-coming publishers that start becoming regular.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's exactly right. But you only know that
if you study the App Store.
If you study the App Store and you're there all the time.
I enjoy it though. You have to enjoy it. You have to want to dig around.
This is definitely not like an exercise or a research mission. This is. I love it. I get nervous on Thursdays. I am weird. I am proper weird. I get nervous for people who I know have
Old
got games
habits
in it.
die hard.
Yeah, they do. I think we've been through this before. But even though I don't know if anybody,
I think you'll like it as well if there's someone you know who's coming.
Oh,
out
absolutely, yeah. I think I'm pretty sure we spoke about this before. Anyways, it's a weird one Thursday. I do like it.
I love it.
Yeah, it's good. But you need to be involved in this stuff. You really do arm yourself with better ammunition than 95% of the other developers who just drop their apps in the store. You just
because
do.
that's what you're doing. You're just dropping.
That's right. And
you can't expect people to take note.
Even if you can say, "Oh, hold on a minute, all these icons have got borders at the moment."
Yeah, see, things like that, icon changes,
It's just
icon trends,
little
colours,
nuances and little things. You just say, "Hold on a minute." I mean, the really classic one was with Voodoo. Certainly late last year with where 2D Flat with Snake versus Block. It was dark games.
That's right.
And you could see that's all they were releasing.
Yeah, it's a trend.
And you know what? If they're working, that's what you want to be bloody building. Yeah. Anyway, let's do a quick roundup. I think that'll cover it. I think we've gone through some of that before, but that's okay. So yeah, get on the App Store and get involved.
Yeah. Critical habits. Keep up with market trends. Success always leaves breadcrumbs. And study the Apple features list.
Yeah, that's it. Good
Good start for anyone.
So I think that about round it up for today, Gilly. And don't forget, if you want to see the show notes for this one, where we do a good old write-up, it is risinghighacademy.com/19. And you can also check out the hyper button at the top of the website there and come and join us for our upcoming 4-week bootcamp that we're holding on hyper casual games. Also see a questions button along the top of our website there. Send us a question. Love to hear from you. And don't forget, if you're listening on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. If you're on iTunes or Stitcher or anywhere else, we'd love a quick little rating and review if you'd be so kind, if you're getting value. And yeah, that would make us very happy
that
indeed.
Would be lovely. Feedback is always
we all need a
welcome.
stroke now and again,
yeah,
don't we, Julie? Okay. So that'll just about go and wrap that up. Hope you've got some value out of today. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with us and listening along with us. And yeah, we will see you next time.
We'll speak soon.
You've been listening to the Rising High Extended Tea Break. To learn more about the resources mentioned in today's show, or to find out more about the Rising High Academy, visit RisingHighAcademy.com. That's RisingHighAcademy.com.